If you don't even know about the Karen pandemic, then you are not prepared for this iceberg. Please proceed to click off of this video and close youtube.com. Most people know Karen as the internet sensation meme Karen pandemic trend. However, there are some dark secrets within. With a word of warning before we begin, I don't want to catch you off guard, but this may very well be the deepest iceberg you have ever seen. I recommend a watch buddy to accompany you throughout the duration of this video, as we will be getting into sensitive subject matters and disturbing analytics. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, this iceberg is going to work a little bit different than the icebergs that you're familiar with seeing. We won't be starting on the tip of the iceberg, as I will be explaining in depth the reasons behind the influences of this decision. Without any further ado, this is the Karen iceberg. Entry 1. Shallow waters. Beneath the surface. Origins, Part 1. Now, for us to start on the same page, forget about everything you think you already know about the Karen. You think you have it all figured out, but you don't, alright? I really want to have this opportunity to show you what's something that most people don't know about. So do me a solid favor. Starting off, the insides of your head should be an empty canvas. Let me paint a picture for you. The John Cena phone call prank videos comment section. An anonymous YouTube user claims to have found the origins of the Karens, located in a 2014 video titled John Cena phone call prank. This somewhat provides us with a backstory of the Karens. Recognizable pop culture mascots. Some notable alumni include Salad Girl from Grubhub, the PewDiePie hater vegan girl, the vegan teacher, the vegan from Jubilee, lady from Incredibles 2 with the black hair, Karen Gillan as Nebula. This is a crucial detail. Keep this in the back of that empty canvas of a head of yours, as Marvel will serve as a reoccurring parent company character as we go down deeper through the iceberg, along with some unrecognizable and surprising guests / companies will be featured as we go down deeper through the iceberg. Arguably the most well-known Karen is the
56-year-old Lena Hernandez. The Torrance police chief says that the woman now linked to 3 racial attacks in her
lifespan. Most Karens are middle-aged women. Sources have claimed that this was because they eat their greeneries. Are Karens vegans too? Calling a Karen straight to her face. Few brave souls / men have called a Karen straight to her face. And doing so only enrages the Karen even more. Please don't act like these 3 buffoons in public. Karen people. This is not a joke. This is actually a real thing. They don't appear to be associated with Karens in any way. They seem to live a minimalistic lifestyle, a primitive age lifestyle. With day-to-day commutes, this might be the ancestors of the Karens we now know, or what they were originally called on Ancestry.com. Okay, now back to the jokes. If this theory is true, then it looks like with the amount of strong evidence suggests that the Karens have been around since the dawn of humanity, that only once recently surfaced, has always been in underground operation until now, hiding in the shadows of society where the sun don't meet the ass. Male Karens. In the recent article titled "What is an Ethical Way to Describe a Male Karen?" written by author Lamb. Nice try, Lamar, but your lies can't fool me this time. We'll return to this issue in the following iceberg segment. Male Karens are just as rare. Some people like to refer to them as male Karens, while the rest of us just call them assholes. to occupy a separate meme genre of its own. Male Karens is reportedly a genetically freak accident experiment that modified the genes of the once Karen into becoming a male Karen. The accidental project spawned a new wave of products. This could be a result of a rogue Karen escapee fugitive fleeing from the Karen organization, fell in love with a male from the outside world. We even have evidence to pinpoint just who exactly this man is. Enter Wilbert Suit. We now know this for a fact because of the breakup song Karen Took the Kids. We'll get into the Karen lesbian history theory in just a second. Karen diss track. Shout out to my man Jawbreaker Juice. Origins of the nickname Karen. Karen is an acronym, an internet slang that stands for kill and run, emotionally speaking, of course. And I don't know what the N stands for. It's probably only there to give it a real bite to the name, to instill fear into the enemy's ears. It's probably only there to not be confused with the other word care. Though you could also argue that Karen, if pronounced in a weird/funny accent, would also be confused with the word caring, which debatably sounds twice as feminine as care. The name Karen can be found featured in the Office television show.
Listen, lady.
Double W. It seems as if before the 2020 internet slang name, the individuals who fall under the Karen category were just simply referred to as white woman. A dangerously high number of people still turn their backs on this theory. Deep waters. Now allow me to take you on an emotional journey, one that consists of hardships and adversity, as we enter the gates of the deep waters. Origins, Part 2, a deeper dive. I have a theory of my own. You are allowed to feel free to disagree with it. I've grown increased suspicion that perhaps the Karen Armageddon originated in Europe, and in the Karen's case, probably illegally immigrated its way into America, especially since most of the original Karen sightings all originated in airport scenarios. So perhaps the international airlines were trying to warn us all along about the spread of the coronavirus pandemic to other countries. But they let their guard down during the vulnerable coronavirus time period in 2020. Thus, the economy majorly lowered a lot of airlines' businesses. The airlines were desperate, and in times of desperation they called upon, they finally let up, and the first Karen was on her way to America. And once the first Karen set foot in American soil, there was no stopping her. The Karens had really set shape and made a name for themselves in the United States of America. But they were unaware. They let their hands slip, and they accidentally just dropped the biggest leak since 2004. What seemed to be an insignificant detail in the grand scheme of things turns out to be secretly the one missing puzzle piece.
The cat now has to go into quarantine.
Did you catch that? Here, listen closely. Let's play it again at a slow speed. This piece of information, this single small, nearly unnoticeable detail that would have flown by over anyone's heads, is the key to which single-handedly explains why Karens are so against being in quarantine and wearing safety masks. And in conclusion, we now know that Europe is responsible for the Karen pandemic. You're welcome. EE-ass haircut. Many of you are familiar with this theory, provided the case only if you've been on this channel for long enough. The Karen hairstyle serves as the female counterpart equivalent/alternative to the Lamar Rose Franklin's EE-ass haircut. proving a possible/potential connection between the Karen pandemic and the Lamar Rose Franklin universe. We might be expecting a crossover project sometime soon. This theory is further solidified by the fact that both memes are relevant in the same time period. On a side note, I made an entire Iceberg video on the Lamar Rose Franklin universe, so if you would like to check that out, there's more to this mystery than what the eye meets. Sunglasses. Karens may be well known for their haircut, but make no mistake that sunglasses also play a big role in the Karen clothing line. It is unknown the reason why, but just like how all champions of the face-slapping competitions have thick neck beards and overweight fupas, the sunglasses could be used as a final touch of disguise, dating even all the way back to 2018. It seems like the sunglasses outlasted the haircuts trend. A possible theory has shed some light on the issue of the sunglasses. Is it possible that Karens are afraid of the sun, connecting the dots to form a possible vampire ancestry theory? Possible members of the LGBTQ connection. Since the Karens are usually seen as unappealing, unsexy, and aggressively masculine, we can confirm that Karens are indeed not female, but are amongst one of the other 36 legal genders in the New York state. This could also serve as the underlying motivation for Karens, since every time they sign up for an alternate Twitter account, they have to click on the other for gender preferences. This could have led to the Karens feeling like they're being treated as leftovers, being shoved out of society as outsiders. It explains Karen's displeasement and dissatisfaction to the way modern society is run. Further Google research is required to confirm this theory. The celebrity theory. The celebrity theory confirms two crucial details. Number one, that Illuminati exists and that it runs under the same underground organization we now know as the WKP, Worldwide Karen Takeover Program/Project, confirming that the organization who's in charge and responsible for the Karen pandemic are also reptilians, as we've confirmed its relationship with the Illuminati, which could explain these pictures of celebrities embracing the Karen haircut, while the general public despises it.
Warning view. Warning view.
It is unknown how much local country artist Taylor Swift is profiting off of the Karen promotions, but due to her house being so big, we can only assume that she's been paid very well for her work at the WKP. Another media outlet, Marvel. Dating back to the 18th century, Marvel Comics released the Skull Wars comic book series, whom are also resembling eerie similarity traits to the reptilian society. Marvel's way of gently implying and warning the public that Karens are a part of a reptilian society living amongst Earthlings through fun graphic novels without upsetting the Illuminati. Rock bottom. John Oliver / global recognition / media coverage. We may be too late to prevent this one from happening. Perhaps the media was purposely delaying the program. John Oliver looks the same he did from 5 years ago. Have a look. This confirms that the national television debut warning has been purposely delayed by the mayor of Arkansas. Penguin Zero / Moist Critical. We might be 17 years to be exact, too late to stop this pandemic. I say this because of the song released on the Penguin Zero channel. I love this song a lot. Now I know that this seems like a stretch, from the North Pole to the ends of the Milky Way galaxy, but I promise you, this will all tie back together in a butterfly knot once we're finished with everything. No offense is intended to the song when I say that the songwriting composition starts with an explosive ear rape tune without warning. This could be used to confirm that Critical was in fact dating a Karen back in 2004. No evidence is required to confirm this theory. Go ahead and check that music out, bro. And don't forget to tell him that the WTF man says hi. Villains assemble. This theory is completely unrelated to the Karen Iceberg, yet it is still part of it because of its epicness, and this might be from the wrong iceberg, from the wrong universe, but one can argue enough that if you link this theory directly to the Karen Iceberg because of the unexplained absence of the Karen's appearance/cameo in the Avengers Endgame Villains Assemble video, which features a wide variety of well-known villains in pop culture, yet it fails to recruit one of the greatest well-known threats to humanity itself. Perhaps the WPK, the Underground Karen Association Company, was behind this scheme all along, resulting in the Karen cameo being removed from the final cut of the movie, which now can only be assumed as a lost piece of media. If you acquire this lost piece of media, please send the file directly to this email address linked below. We thank you for your service, for every contribution you have to offer is appreciated, and your identity will remain disclosed. Now, during the next segment of this iceberg, we are going down deeper into the unknowns, depths that not have been yet explored nor never touched upon by any other iceberg of any other subject matter. Underworlds / underground / the core of the earth / center of the earth. As we reach into the core / center of the earth, please remain calm. Stay in your assigned seats with seatbelts on fastened. Do not get out of your seats for any reason. Forbid from removing your seatbelts at any given point during this flight. When you hear the captain yell, "Brace, brace, brace," please reposition yourselves to the following position as shown on the screen in front of you, and remain in brace position until told otherwise. The Robotic Karen. U.S. government's national warning theory. We ignored the US government's warning signs. Perhaps it's too late for a second chance. Here's what I found. The evidence I present to you. The choice is yours to decide. Please listen carefully, as I will be only repeating this once. This is a big one. One that exposes the WKP's plan for future expansion. So I suggest you get comfortable while you still can. You might as well prepare yourself with some snacks, as we're going to be here for a whiles to come. What if the reason why Karens wear unbranded sunglasses with impossible to see through is because the human eye is the only exposed part that makes a human human? So, this wouldn't be merely just a Karen pandemic, but instead a disguised cybernetic robo-takeover apocalypse, disguised as a harmless internet comedy, used to make viral content to appeal to a younger audience with contents like Try Not to Laugh, Karen Freakout Breakouts Edition. Honestly, I don't know which is worse of the two. The people making these compilations are a literal robo-cleansing. Oh, I should have thought of this sooner. Foolish for me to overlook this detail. The organization behind it, that's been powering the Karen clout, is a part of the WKP. Exhibit A, Karen, is also the name of Plankton's wife. One of the first times that anyone has been called a Karen. Or was it? Or should I say, or is it? Because if the SpongeBob SquarePants is a show about a post-apocalyptic, utopian society, global warming, post-humanity society is true, then this could only mean one thing. The Karens have succeeded in world conqueration. By as early as 2021, the Karens would have outlasted humanity, inserted their subconsciousness into a floppy disk, and have subjected dominance over mankind. more specifically, the male species, as metaphorically personified by the size of plankton as compared to the rest of Bikini Bottom. They tried to warn us. Exhibit B, Cyberpunk. Attention, attention. This is not a theory. This is an authorized government issued warning. Do not approach a Karen. They are highly hostile. As a tax-paying American citizen, I am required by law to provide you an understanding of the national safety protocols in the event of an emergency. Please excuse this segment of this video. This is a drill to test our emergency preparedness.
1370.
The security tape that you just witnessed was originally filmed in August 28th of 1987. The audio was heavily censored due to the sensitivity of the subject matter. If you slow it down, playing at 0.25 speed in reverse, you'll find this encrypted message. Exhibit C, the Kraken. Both the names Karen and Kraken, are starting with K and ending with N. This was clearly intentional, as it was both inspired by the Amazon logo, where the K stands for Karen and the N stands for New World. Both have the A, R, and E sound groups as the meat of the sandwich letters. Matter of fact, the only difference between these two words is the existence of an extra K, Kraken, proving this to be the backup plan, Plan B of the WPK. A possible Plan C might be in development, named after the superglue industry company, Crazy Glue, or better known as the Kraggle. Plan Z could have been coolmathgames.com, but that seems to be a stretch. So perhaps the KKK stands for Karen, Kraken, and Kraggle. Of course, this is not to be confused with the KKK, but one could argue that they are in fact related to the KKK due to the fact of most hostile Karens or white supremacist racists as well. All three forces of supernatural entities combined used for the purpose of worldwide cleansing. Forces that are stronger than the Infinity Gauntlet itself. It leaves no victims behind. The Crazy Glue is used as a metaphorical, symbolic, godly-like item in the 2014 The Lego Movie to represent a society where overprotective. I'm not gonna describe the whole movie's plot, you can see it yourself. The Lego Movie parallel connection to Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the movie, where Dad Heffley also has collectible figurines stored in the basement as a pool table display case. And don't touch them. They are not toys. They are figurines. Whatever the fuck that means.
It's a highly sophisticated interlocking brick system.
How you doing over there?
Let's put everything back the way you found it.
This is how we do it!
So I can make things the way they're supposed to be.
That looks like what you would buy from a store.
The Kraken.
Stories about attacking ships and pulling them over. I do believe
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Barnacle Boy is Mermaid Man's son. Boom, confirmed. Next. Beneath the Bedrock. Infinity Gauntlet Theory. The premise of this question is simple, yet complex at the same time. The question is, do Karens really even exist? If a person fails to identify him or herself as a Karen, then do any Karens really exist at all? However, women who are actually named Karen seem to have no desiring resembling traits to the internet slang name. Examples include Karen from The Office, No further evidence is needed to confirm this theory. This theory can be tied back to a small, homemade low-budget film released in 2019 by the small underground indie production studios, owned by Maker Studios, company Marvel Studios, film The Adventures of the M-Gain, a ripoff of the 2018 hit single by Taylor Swift of the same name. This could tie back to the theory that Marvel was indeed a WPK-run company, since its association with Taylor Swift is suspicious. And as we've previously established, Taylor Swift has a long and running successful career working as one of the representatives/mascots of the WPK Karen Worldwide Association. Still not convinced? Well, riddle me this then. Why does the song Endgame by TS has a feature named Future? Perhaps the most probable theory is that it's a tease to the Karen pandemic in 2020. But what about the other feature, Ed Sheeran? Who? Never mind. The Karen Iceberg. It is heavily speculated/rumored that the unnamed ship from Titanic sunk after colliding with the Karen Iceberg. This theory was so groundbreaking at the time period that it managed to time travel back as an idea that morphed itself into a physical iceberg. Again, this could be a possible reference/relationship with the Kraken, whom is famous for being a dangerous threat to the ships sailing in deep seas. This ties directly to the following global warming theory, which we'll get to right after this short commercial break.
We interrupt this program to give you the local news. Local man hates Minecraft. From 6 years ago. We'll now return to your regular scheduled program.
Global warming. Global warming is a current modern-day issue discussed by a variety of modern politicians with different opinions on the topic. However, one politician whose identity will remain unnamed for the makings of this video. All that I'll say is that he was one of the last survivors of the successful 2017 Area 51 invasion in B Group Squadron 3, a man who has a reputation, a complicated and dirty history background of getting into legal conflicts with the United States of America. He has managed to escape a 6-star police chase just to conduct this exclusive interview on Discord. The following call may be recorded for training purposes.
It's top secret. It's an underground operation. Everything he tells you in this video, it's true. It's all true. Existing, dating back to the reptilian colossal time period. Dawn creation of the solar system. Modern science and technology is currently incapable of dating back further in the past. However, it is believed by many that the WPK dates further back. At this time, no one knows for sure how long the WPK have existed before our time.
He went up the stairs, I saw him. I got you surrounded, McNulty.
The man claims that global warming has a direct relationship with the Karen Iceberg, ultimately, which is the reason why the Karen Iceberg does not have a tip in its iceberg. Now you know the truth. Brace yourselves for the reason why, because we're gonna collide headfirst down a rabbit hole which no one was ready to see. Another reason for why the Karen Iceberg doesn't have a tip could also be confirmed by an intentional pun, that which is Karen's call for the manager when upset, therefore concluding that there will be no generous amounts of tips after the conversation. Going back to the Penguin Zero theory, which could very well be a tieback to the global warming theory, since the name itself implies that by the year 2099, penguins would have been extinct by then due to the lasting effects of global warming, which we've established to be the reason why the Karen iceberg is absent of a tip. Once again, I personally cannot assume responsibility if you believed in this theory. What you choose to do with this information is yours, and only yours, to decide. There is no doubt in my mind that the Karen pandemic originated from somewhere in Europe. With evidence this strong and convincing, I find it hard for me to believe in anything else otherwise. Though no recent studies show that Karens were ever involved in France. This might be a technique used by the WPK to stay a low profile. The general public are unaware of this, but the French word for Karen is Caron. Sound familiar? Well, that's because it does. The word corona of coronavirus might have just been used as the French word / translation for Karen, proving that the French may have been responsible for the coronavirus pandemic. I can't believe I have to address this, but in this political climate, I feel like I have to. This is a fucking joke, alright? Please don't think I'm a fucking racist. The lies that we've been fed to as a child. We were told to believe that Karens were only a character of literature, of Urban Dictionary, tales of the holiday season, a mythological creature that went extinct centuries before the human race. Have you ever wondered why it's always, "Here comes the airplane"? What kind of toddlers would even know what an airplane tastes like, let alone look like, or even been on an airplane? How are we expected to believe anything anymore? It'd be too late for this planet. The WPK are obviously aliens. It has come pretty clear at this point. I'm just gonna assume that you've all completed your 4th grade education. The light at the end of the tunnel / iceberg, the other end / side of the earth, North Pole to South Pole. Shrek is a part of the WPK reptilian theory. There is no evidence linking Shrek to the Karens. Shrek is by no means a Karen. If anything, Shrek just might be the only spark of hope humanity has left to offer, the noble warrior to defeat the dragon of which that is Karen. It is currently unknown the mysterious relationship between the fan-favorite ogre and the Worldwide Underground Association. Some fans have argued that Shrek is in no way related to the WPK at all, claiming that we're the ones overthinking this. The following has been heavily censored due to heavy extreme nudity for the safety of its televised audiences.
It's radical.
Whoa, guys, click that subscribe button. It's Shrek. Whoa, guys, Shrek loves kids. It's real. Okay, now that I've got your attention, let's move on to the most important segment of today's video. Red M&M, chocolate or bean / chocolate with nuts theory. The red M&M, best known for his role as himself, is the red M&M a candy-coated chocolate condiments dessert, or is it a string bean? Eerie evidence suggests that this could be a possible reference to the album Red, also by Taylor Swift. Today, for a very special announcement, I want you to be here in person for this. It seems as if every variation of the M&M's packaging has red M&M in there somewhere. We have to put a stop to this. Together we can stop this. The new Illuminati. Again, this could be a plausible reference to the Marvel comic book collection that no one reads, confirming that the WPK is an underground operation. International waters. So, What's next? /finale /final thoughts. The new generation /world rebellion. The current YouTube channel that you are on right now was designed for one sole purpose only: to combat the spread of the coronavirus. We have been scavenging throughout the internet's YouTube in search for new recruits, talented individuals who have what it takes to stand up against the injustice of internet profanity. Seats are limited, so please claim your spot while you still can by pressing the big red. We are an underground association that centers around high quality content and customer satisfaction. We run by strict morals, and we've been trusted by customers throughout the last 2 weeks. Media sources have claimed that this is the closest thing we'll ever get to a real-life superhero. This video is obviously one big fart joke. If you fail to comprehend that, then who believed that any of this shit I've just spat on you was real in any degree? I will accept zero responsibility with what you do with this information. Well, if you don't have a friend, I hope this has helped you fill that empty void in your soul. Thanks, man, it really means a lot. I hope this was entertaining for you. I hope this has made your day just slightly better. Have an absolutely fantastic day, guys. Oh, and before I forget, this video was sponsored by the WPK. Okay guys, this is ridiculous. Thank you for watching this video. In case you didn't figure it out, this video took a lot of brain juice to make, and I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting me by pressing that subscribe button. Really means a lot, and you're definitely helping out the channel majorly as a whole when you click that subscribe button.